Season 1 saw me take over the reins at Brighton Football Club amid the departures of some of our biggest players. However, new signings and some fantastic last-minute winners saw us clinch 14th place in the league last season. This year though, with £99 million to spend in the transfer window, but with expectations raised and the board wanting us to achieve a Europa League spot, we've got a hell of a lot of work to do with this squad if we want to achieve our goals this season. But as ever, if you are enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into a brand new season. Now, Season 1 saw Karu Mitoma rounding off the season as our top goal scorer with 14 goals in 40 appearances. However, at the beginning of the season, I made a very bold promise to him that if we didn't achieve European football at the end of the year, I would reluctantly allow him to go in the summer transfer window. And with us only achieving a 14th place in the league last season, I have failed to live up to my end of the bargain. And so frustratingly, that means that after agreeing a £40.2 million move with RB Leipzig for our star man, Mitoma will be the first casualty of Brighton's transfer window, leaving a massive hole on the left-hand side of our attack that I'm not quite sure 21-year-old 75-rated Simon Adingra is just quite ready to fill yet. Fortunately enough though, I can always rely on you guys for some inspiration. The first comment coming through saying, with Mitoma out the door, it opens up some room for Ceballos, who I think would be class on the wing for you. Veron from Porto could also be a good shout, and Anthony Gordon is also quite cheap at this stage. And another one saying that now Mitoma is free to leave due to the failure of achieving European football, Harvey Barnes could be a decent option for that left side. He's got higher potential than Mitoma as well. He's only 24, very quick, and has good dribbling on him as well. I think he will fit Mitoma's place very nicely. So I've taken the time to try and scout all of those different options and add every single one of them to my transfer list. And as you can see, looking at all of them, they have very different skill sets and very different ratings. At 21 years of age and being lightning quick, I think Ceballos could well be a fantastic addition, and he also offers us some versatility, both on the right-hand side and left-hand side of midfield. Anthony Gordon also has the same variety as Ceballos. He's taller and also matches him for sprint speed. Plus the fact he's 6 foot and has Premier League experience, he could be a really interesting option. Gabriel Veron is another brilliant potential addition. 20 years of age, 4-star skill move, and also has lightning pace as well. And at 78, he could well come in and immediately improve the starting 11. However, I have to be honest, my personal favourite does have to be Harvey Barnes. He's an out-and-out left midfielder, but at 25 years of age and an 82 rated, he is just about to enter his peak. He's 6'1", also has lightning pace, and has experience in the Premier League. And so taking all of that into account, my mind was well and truly made up. He may have moved to Newcastle in real life, but on FIFA 23, he wants to join the team that just beat Newcastle in the Premier League. Eager to play football under an attacking, innovative manager and to cement himself as a star and a crucial player in an up-and-coming Premier League team, Harvey Barnes joins the club for £36.2 million. Surprisingly, his rating is actually higher than that of Mitoma's, and there's no surprise to see that he goes straight into our starting 11 with the hope he can play a massive part for us this season. Now, after conceding 56 goals in the Premier League last season with a -9 goal difference, there can be no doubt that my defence was looking pretty shaky. Now, last season I set 20-year-old Bart Verbruggen with a major challenge, and that was to keep 10 clean sheets in the Premier League. And whilst he was able to do it across all competitions, frustratingly for him, he was just one clean sheet away from a clean sweep in that challenge. Now, as a consequence of him not properly achieving that challenge, I did say that his place in the starting 11 could well be up for grabs at the start of Season 2. And interestingly, one of your suggestions as a replacement for him was that of Manchester United's goalkeeper Dean Henderson. Now, with the young man being 26 years of age and 81 rated, he certainly would be a step up from Bart Verbruggen in the centre of our goal. However, with Bart only being 20 years of age and already going up by 4 ratings last season to 77 overall, I'm reluctant to bring in a brand new number 1 to replace him and to stunt his development. And so with that in mind, another very interesting comment came up, and that was to get Hugo Lloris for 1 season and send Bart Verbruggen out to a championship club on loan so that he can have a season to reach his full potential without so much pressure. And you know what? I actually think that could be an incredible idea. At 36 years of age and rated 83, he is a step up both in experience and rating, but with him only having 12 months left on his contract, I could potentially snap him up for a deal for just £2.8 million. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do. He's a man with a wealth of experience to join a relatively inexperienced, young and up-and-coming team. He'll hopefully provide some calm, composure and leadership at the back for us ahead of the new season. The French captain, international and World Cup winner joins Brighton Football Club for £2.8 million. And with Hugo Lloris in situ in our starting 11, that means Bart Verbruggen can depart the club on a one-year loan for some much-needed Premier League experience with Leicester City. Now, with my starting 11 shaping up very nicely, there is just one more area of the pitch that I would like to improve, and that is certainly my defence. And of course, some more good comments have come through the door, the first of which suggesting to replace Adam Webster at the back, who's been looking shaky since the start of the series, with Roger Ibanez from AS Roma being a potential replacement, with two more interesting options being Arthur Tiata and Kosunu from Bayern Leverkusen. Now, to be fair, all three of these options are incredibly interesting. They're all young, they all have pace to burn, and they've all got bags of potential to grow and develop. But I've got to be honest, my personal favourite does have to be the 24-year-old Brazilian Roger Ibanez. Not only is he 6'1", but he's got terrific athleticism, fantastic mental stats, and he's got some decent ball control to top it all off. And for me, whilst potential is important, having had such a shaky defence, particularly at the back end of last season, it's absolutely vital that we get someone in who is approaching their prime, can immediately improve the starting 11, offer us incredible composure, calmness and leadership at the back, and can build an absolute wall across the shores of Brighton to make sure that no attack can penetrate. And so with that in mind, the 24-year-old Brazilian Roger Ibanez does in fact join the club to become our third signing of the summer for just over £40 million. And so with our starting 11 looking stronger than it ever has before, with almost every single player with the exception of Evan Ferguson being rated in at least the 80s. And so that means we are ready for our first Premier League game of the season, ready to make an assault on the European places in the Premier League as we head over to Ellen Road to face Leeds United. Ben Yedder all taken out from behind by one of the Leeds players, I think it was Dan James, who gets a yellow card for his troubles inside the opening 5 minutes. Out wide on the right-hand side to Ben Yedder, who's taken it nicely and tries to just drift past the centre-back. Manages to find a ball in, looking for the debutant Harvey Barnes, but it's headed away by the Leeds defence. Tyler Adams, nice ball into Gelhardt, who's shielding the defence, but it's Ibanez on his debut who puts in a fabulous challenge and then gives the ball away cheaply to Dan James, into the box to Gelhardt. Big save from the new goalkeeper. Well, my word, he had to be on his toes for that one inside the opening 15 minutes. It was a big save from the goalkeeper, but Leeds have the opportunity now to try and get the ball back into our box. It's Brendan Aronson on the edge looking for an option, finds Dan James on the right hand side, straight at Lloris, and it's another big save from the Frenchman. Sinisterra, Leeds go again. They've been the better team inside the opening 20 minutes here as Aronson into Sinisterra again, lines up a ball to Dan James, who fires it past Hugo Lloris, and at the third time of asking, he could do nothing to stop that one. Well, again, we've been so poor in the opening 20 minutes, giving balls away left, right and centre, and it's powered past Hugo Lloris by Dan James, the man who's got a yellow card. That's much to my frustration. Leeds United take the lead here, 1-0. Estupinian taken out there again, and I think it was Dan James who might have taken him out. He's on the floor at the moment. The referee's getting the card out. It is a straight red card, not even a yellow. It's a straight red for Dan James, the goal scorer. It's a horrendous challenge. Look at this, just takes him out from behind. Absolute shocking. Didn't learn from the first one. Sam Allardyce is disgusted. Leeds United down to 10 men. Harvey Barnes into Ben Yedder. Looks for Evan Ferguson, who manages to keep hold of the ball, and he finds Ben Yedder, who turns, strikes with his right, just wide. Ben Yedder has been heavily involved so far in this game, finds Harvey Barnes on his debut, looking to do something special here, and he finds Evan Ferguson, who strikes with his right off the defender, and we are now starting to knock on the door here. Aronson to bring the ball forward. It's end-to-end stuff here at Ellen Road inside the opening half here, as Aronson still has it. Back to Tyler Adams, back out wide to Aronson, looking to find some space on the right-hand side. Can he get a ball inside? He can to Gelhardt. No challenge. Big save again from Hugo Lloris. A second save. Oh my word. More horrendous defending. And Leeds United, with 10 men, take a 2-goal lead. Well, again, Hugo Lloris is doing everything he can to try and keep us in this game, but it's just not enough. The defence has been an absolute shambles, and somehow we find ourselves 2-0 down here at Ellen Road. Mata for Leeds. Oh, brilliant ball into Gelhardt. Where is my defence? What is happening? It's 3-0. The defence is completely gaping. What on earth is Roger Ibanez doing? Completely out of position. And what on earth are my two other defenders doing either? Hugo Lloris left in absolutely no man's land. And inside the opening 45 minutes, we find ourselves 3-0 down to a 10-men Leeds United. De Hood into Harvey Barnes now, into Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson looks for the run of Ludovic Blas. And despite only having 10 men, Leeds are still looking good here, as Ben Yedder fires another big opportunity high and wide. De Hood into Ben Yedder. Ben Yedder finds Evan Ferguson. He looks for a ball to Ludovic Blas. Going to try and fire it back over into Ben Yedder. Oh my word, a sensational save. Well, I just don't know if today is not going to be my day as Koku tries to whip it in. I've barely said his name throughout the entire game. He's been so quiet. Roger Ibanez with the opportunity to try and make amends, but he blasted against the defender. And Leeds United now can try and counter-attack here with Aronson down the right-hand side. Good defending. Maffeu finds Koku. Nice touch and turn. Looks round the corner for Ludovic Blas, who manages to take it on and just wriggles his way past the defender. Fires a ball into the box, looking for the playback to Dahoud. Just inches away there from getting his head on it. Harvey Barnes to bring the ball forward. Finds Ben Yedder, who's come all the way out wide. Into João Pedro, who's come on as a sub to Patrick Wimmer. And he blasts it into the back of the net with his left foot. But in the 91st minute, it's probably too little too late. Well, it's the first opportunity we've really been able to carve this Leeds United defence open. It's taken us 91 minutes, but it's a fantastic finish from Patrick Wimmer. It's just a shame that it came too late, but it's only a consolation. 3-1. Well, the referee blows the whistle for full-time, and those Leeds United players are absolutely delighted. Full-time it finishes, Leeds United 3, Brighton 1. Well, I suffered massive pressure from the press at the back end of last season as to what on earth was happening at Brighton, and it looks like Season 2 is kicking off exactly the same way Season 1 finished. It's hard luck for Hugo Lloris, who actually, to his credit, had a fairly decent debut. He kept us in the game with several quality saves, but he was completely hung out to dry by a woeful defensive performance. Roger Ibanez had an absolute shocker to start off his life in Brighton colours. As you can see, with only a 5.33 rating in his first 3 friendly matches, he's clearly taken that form into the Premier League. He was caught napping for several of Leeds' goals, and I've just got to hope that he can reset his mind, wipe the slate clean, and get himself back on track. I've got to admit, my slight concern does have to be this formation. As you can see, it is incredibly attacking, and it worked very well for us at the back end of last season, where we were in desperate search of some goals to try and keep ourselves in the Premier League. But if the season continues on as it started against Leeds United, I may have to make the switch back to a more conservative 4-2-3-1. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think I should do? Should I stick with this more attacking 3-4-2-1 formation, or should I revert back to type, go to a more conservative position, and just try and find some more balance between defence and attack? We are going to have one more opportunity though to try and impress with this more attacking formation, as we're going to play out our second game of the season and what is going to be our last game of this episode, as we have our first home game of the Season 2. We welcome Leicester City to the Amex Stadium. Harvey Barnes 1-2 into Ben Yedder, gets it back from him beautifully and continues his run down the left-hand side. He's got the pace to get away from the defender, almost ran it out of play, but it's hit Evan Ferguson. And Evan Ferguson, with his first touch of the game, with an almighty volley, smashes it past the goalkeeper, and that is exactly the start we needed. The Leicester City players are yet to even get a touch on the ball. Harvey Barnes, against his old club, gets the assist, and that is absolutely beautiful from the young Irishman. Just took it with absolute aplomb and just smashed it past the goalkeeper. Our goalkeeper on loan from our own club, Verbruggen, could do nothing about it as I celebrate as we make it 1-0. Jeremy to James Maddison, and that is a beautiful ball into Sumer, and once again Roger Ibanez is off. He's completely all over the shop, and once again it's Hugo Lloris who comes to our rescue. James Maddison is going to take the resulting corner, and it's headed away by Ludovic Blas, only out as far as Moreno. It's now Sumer into Vestergaard. Leicester right on the edge of our box, desperately searching for an equaliser here. Back to Sumer, into Moreno. He strikes with his left, and Lloris with another huge save. Avalio for Leicester City. Moreno, that goal seems to have completely kick-start them now, as Maddison's in with the power strike. And Hugo Lloris with a massive save yet again. Stupinian into Ben Yedder. He turns, looks for Harvey Barnes, who's desperate now to make an impression on his first home game in a Brighton shirt, looking for Patrick Wimmer. Couldn't quite get there. Ludovic Blas with his left fires it against the defender. Sumer, lovely pass into the path of Teremi, who's beaten Roger Ibanez again. And again, it's Hugo Lloris to the rescue. Evan Ferguson into Dahoud, who's managed to get himself in a nice little pocket of space. Fires a lovely pass out to Harvey Barnes on the left-hand side. Drives into the box, looking for the run of Patrick Wimmer at the back post. He got the header all wrong. Failed. Finds Ludovic Blas. Blas in field, looking for João Pedro, who's coming as a substitute. Big save. Berto Moreno trying to fire a ball up the top into Teremi. Lovely pass. Oh, Vardy skips away from the challenge of Estupinian. And Hugo Lloris with, I've lost count how many saves. Fortunately enough, though, that was the last attack of the game, and our players are delighted. A hard-fought victory here at the Amex Stadium. our first victory of the season. That man Evan Ferguson with a fantastic goal early on in the game to seal our fate, as at full time it finishes Brighton 1, Leicester City 0. Well, it's only one goal, but that will be a big one for this young man's confidence. One goal in 2 Premier League games, and what a fantastic take it was. Hugo Lloris manages to keep his first clean sheet of the season, and what a performance it was from the experienced Frenchman, showing exactly why it was the right decision to bring him in. And I've got to be honest, I actually forgot that Bart Verbruggen would be playing in that game for Leicester City, but to his credit, he was a pretty decent performance from the young Dutchman, and as you can see, he's already gone up by 2 up to 80, showing that it was a brilliant idea to send him out on loan. And hopefully by the start of next season, he will have surpassed Hugo Lloris's rating and be able to come back into the club and establish himself as our #1 goalkeeper. We're 10th in the league after our first 2 games, with only 3 points on the board. However, it was a much better start than the one from season 1. However, with another pretty shocking performance from this young man, Roger Ibanez, the question has to be, am I leaving him far too exposed with this attacking formation? And again, do I have to switch back to something a little bit more conservative to try and find some better balance to this team? I've also still got £61 million left in the transfer budget, so let me know down in your comments below, what formation changes do you want to see? Are there any additional players you want to see in Brighton colours this season? Thank you so much for watching the start of Season 2, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.